You're listening to the Mannered Podcast.
Talk too much, think too fast, say my bad about the past, try to make the good times last, welcome in, let's laugh. It's that human energy, all our flaws, all melody. Welcome to the show, you see, this is Mannered.
Welcome back to Mannered. I'm Sean Rhodes, and today's episode is taking you to 5,280 feet of awesomeness as I talk mile-high manners with the one and only Tony V. My longtime friend, former co-worker, and literally a voice most Denverites have grown up with. Currently, Tony is the brand manager, program director, and afternoon drive host of the new Flow 1071, and he's known as Denver's hometown homeboy for a reason. He's born and bred here, for starters, and he's been that energetic voice on Denver radio for nearly 30 years. Tony's a husband, a father, a grandfather, and one heck of a basketball coach, too, which I'm hoping he might get into today. Today, we're talking about Denver, the Denver we remember, the Denver we live in now, and the Denver that's still figuring out who it wants to be. The city has grown, it's changed, it's gotten bigger, faster, louder, and for a lot of people who grew up here, that's exciting and confusing and frustrating and sometimes a little heartbreaking all at the same time. So Tony and I are going to talk about what it's like to watch your hometown evolve, how culture and manners shift, and how you stay rooted while everything around you moves. As Tony would say, let's go! Tony, give me a real let's go.
Let's go!
Well, Tony, welcome to the show, man. I'm so happy to have you here. And thanks. You're joining me from your living room. I know you're sitting around some foliage right now, some cool dog chairs and couches.
This is our living room, and if I can show you, when guests come over, we sit on that little dog pad there, and that's how we entertain right now. We're in transition when it comes to getting some furniture, but I'm excited about the change that's happening here at the house. My wife's doing a really good job. So
hey, that's a fitting segue as we talk about changes in our environment. Is you're currently going through it in your own home here, and so I guess to start today off and to get this conversation rolling, it's for me, and why I thought this would be a good topic for you is you're born here, but you're also very relevant in the current environment as you're hosting your radio show, directing a whole new radio station in this modern version of Denver. And for me personally, Denver lately has been like, in some cases, it's been like that childhood friend that you have all these warm, fun memories with that you like see them years later at the grocery store and you're like, they're vaping and wearing Crocs with socks, and it's like, what's happening here?
Right.
You still have all these fond memories, but it's like something new is there that's maybe unsettling a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's still the same friend. So I guess with that getting us started out, have you had any moments where you just all of a sudden look around and you're like, whoa, things are different?
Oh yeah, for sure. There are situations where I've seen, listen, this is the reality that we're in right now, and it's all about navigating and just trying to be the best person that you can be and the best version of yourself. But I've seen situations where just people aren't treating each other the way they used to, when it comes to respect, and maybe there's a misunderstanding, but because there's lack of communication or people aren't receiving the way that they could be like they did back in the day. We had conversations when when adults spoke to you, you responded with respect first, and then you communicated. And I think that we lost a little bit of that. You see it in the grocery store when sometimes you see kids disrespecting adults that they don't even know. A lot of times you'll see kids disrespecting their own parents in ways because of whatever the situation is with the family. Sometimes I would look at it first and foremost as maybe a lack of discipline or, whatever could be going on in the home. And those are situations where you're like, wow, it never used to be like that. And but at the same time, it doesn't give free reign to maybe people who were back in the day who could have been a little bit overboard with the way they might have treated youth. So it's kind of a 6-7 thing, if you will. But yeah, things have changed, and I think it is a little sad to see that we're losing just the respect for the human element.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, Denver is it's a this is I'm excited to dig into this because it is that situation where being from here, and I'm not originally from here. I'm a transplant. I moved here in 2005, but I like to think that I was here during the somewhat of the old school version of Denver, Like when
Hmm.
I first got here, it's a little bit of a quiet Cowtown still, It felt like there was a lot of room to move and, it wasn't as crazy busy as it is now, and, one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is it me getting older? And is it, just my age that I'm, turning into that old curmudgeon that's like, "These kids today," or is our culture locally in Denver actually changing? And, that's kind of what I wanna talk to you about today, and not that that's a good or bad thing, but it's a change, it's something
Yeah.
that we all have to adapt to, and hopefully in this show, I wanna give some tips on both sides. If you're moving here, some ways that you can, integrate without being offensive or, accommodating some of the history and the tradition of the city. Because sometimes, let's be honest, I feel like some people that have moved here are just here for the party, and we're like the homeowners that gotta clean up everything after they leave, you know?
All right. Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I think it's a combination of both because I find myself talking to my wife about being the old guy on the block now, because we were the first guys on our block, and we were one of the youngest couples at one time, and now, I'm kind of the old man on the block. There was a party down the street the other night, and it was in the middle of the week, and I was pretty irritated because my dogs were barking, and I'm up at, like, 3 or 4 in the morning, and, I'm like, "Hey, I gotta get to work tomorrow," and 20, 30 years ago, I was that same guy who was partying on the block and getting yelled at by the old man on the block. And so, in a sense, I've become that "get off my lawn" guy. But at the same time, I think that for me, it's been an evolution of trying to understand that, you know, we did have a past and we did those similar things. So there's got to be a give and take with a little bit of understanding that comes with it. But at the same time, it goes back to the human element of respect.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care what you do in your own home. You can have a party, you can do whatever, but respect your surroundings and respect the people around you.
Absolutely. Yep, I completely agree, and I think as far as the nature of the evolving city, I think there's an element where we I you want to grow, whether it's your kids, whether it's your sports team, whether it's your business, whether it's your city, there's an excitement, and expectation where you want it to evolve and you want it to grow. But I think a lot of times when something grows so fast, a lot of us who helped grow it feel displaced a little bit. Like
Oh, for
it's like
sure.
all of a sudden you're looking around and you're like, wait, like I've been here. I helped make this city what it is today, you know, to get us started and painting the picture a little bit. Tell me, like, you grew up here. Tell us about the OG Denver.
Oh gosh, old McNichols Arena, old Mile High Stadium, the skyline downtown was different. I can tell you about restaurants, Breakfast King. We had a lot of the flea market was on 50th and Federal. It wasn't even where it's at off of York Street, off of 76.
Mhm.
We had fireworks stands up and down Federal in the northern area, and when you were a kid, it felt like when you traveled 50 blocks, like you were driving to another city. And now it seems like everything is just so connected. Taco House is gone, guys. Taco House. It's crazy because I relate a lot of things to food, and
Yeah.
food is comfort, and these are the places that we gathered over the years, and obviously our sports teams, and where they played and where they're playing right now. When I was a kid, we didn't even have a professional baseball team. We had
Mhm.
the Denver Zephyrs and the Denver Bears. And, when we got the Rockies, it was truly amazing. It's not
Yeah.
so amazing now, but 2007 was great, all right?
Hey, hey,
2007.
yeah, the expectations are that maybe Rockies are turning a new leaf this year. There's new management. I'm hearing good signs about it, so we'll
We'll
see.
we'll keep praying for that, all
Yeah.
right? No, but, yeah, my wife and I were talking about this the other day because she hasn't been downtown for a while, and I drive all over the city, so when we go out and we do something on the weekend, go to hang out, she's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, what happened?" New buildings popping up, obviously, we're in a let me preface this, by the way, I'm from the 1900s, so all of our younger listeners, they will throw that at you. "You're from the 1900s?" But, it
Yep,
makes us seem a lot older.
yep,
But, yeah, there are so many different, the city's changed not just in, the things that we used to do and obviously, living here and seeing it all, but it's changed, from a geographical standpoint.
mhm,
There's so many different things to see, and, where it's a good thing, it's also different, and if you're not ready for the change and you're not evolving with it, it is gonna seem a little bit different, and you might feel like you're out of place because um, things have just happened so fast.
yep,
And we've grown at a very quick rate. And I'm telling you, like you blink, it's like our weather. You wait 5 minutes, you're having a blizzard, and then tomorrow it's 75 degrees.
yeah. Except for this winter, it's been like 70 degrees the entire winter,
Oh,
so
I love it. It's the best.
until the fires come this summer, so
I know. That's
yeah,
crazy because I was talking about this yesterday. I was like, I was telling my wife, and I said this on the air. I go, it is the middle of February, and we are having high winds. It's obviously warmer outside, but there's no snow on the ground, and we're talking about fire danger in the
yeah,
middle of winter.
I know, it's
Crazy,
crazy.
right?
It's
Yeah.
it's absolutely nuts, and, and that's just a whole other thing, but it's, taking myself back to, like, when I first moved out here in 2005, I I lived in Denver, then I was shipped down to Colorado Springs for a couple of years, but then came back to Denver, and, some of the things I personally miss is it used to be just an afterthought on a weekend to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go skiing today." Hop in the
Mm,
car at 6 o'clock. I'm up in Keystone, Breckenridge Winter Park by, like, 8, you know?
yep.
Now, it's like, you have to premeditate that, like, months in advance to be like, "Okay, got this in order, we're gonna leave at 3 in the morning and hopefully be there by 9." I mean, traffic has just gotten completely out of hand, and then, the other thing is my wife and I used to love to just we would go on a date night downtown, and we would walk around like, we never made reservations for anything. Like, we would just go to whatever restaurant caught our eye, walk in, have dinner, then afterwards, we would go we loved concerts, so we a lot of times we go to, like, Larimer Lounge. We just walk in and be like, "Oh, I don't even know this band, but I'm gonna walk in there, watch this show." Same thing with, like, at the Ogden, you know, Bluebird. You just could walk into a concert, like, day of show, which I
Yep.
know isn't good for the concert promoters, they're and we're in this business, but it was nice to have that freedom of choice to where you didn't have to plan as much. Now, in modern Denver, you gotta be a planner. You have
Yeah.
to know what you wanna do and secure it ahead of time.
I can tell you that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Even going to a Bronco game, it takes work. You have to pre-plan because of traffic, and you wanna be there early, even if you wanna be a part of tailgating. If you don't and you leave close to game time, you're not gonna get in till after the game starts. Same thing with the Nuggets. I mean, it's like you said, what took maybe, 45 minutes to get your family together, get in the car, and, get down to the arena or their stadium now takes a couple of hours because of traffic, right? And, they did this project called T-Rex a few years back.
Yep.
I don't know if it saved any time. I think it's worse. But I don't even like going to Red Rocks anymore. And I love Red Rocks when I get there, but it takes so much work. And
Absolutely.
I will say this, being older and a little more out of shape, who's trying to walk a mountain to go see a show? Can you send me the video, please? But no, for real, the planning process, mentally, becomes a little bit of a headache. And, it ends up being worth it. But at the end of the day, something that used to be maybe a 2 or 3 hour process now becomes a 5 or 6 hour process, depending on what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're close to the community, Tony, that not only you grew up with, but your current listeners. What feelings do you feel like you get from a lot of the people you grew up with and, even your current listeners? Like what's the sentiment out there about the way things have changed?
I think it's similar. We I think from a human aspect, we love and we rely and we love to talk about the past. We love to talk about our memories. And I know that for a lot of my friends and family members, there's certain eras that I'm not going to say that they're necessarily stuck in, but when it comes to conversations, those topics usually come up. So the memories that they created maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and making the comparison to where they were at back then to where we are today can be a little bit of, way back when, I remember when, or how things used to be. And I remember a conversation with some adults talking about, we look at situations now where instead of helping people in a dire situation, maybe a fight or they're being attacked, people are going to pull their cameras out first and record it as opposed to help people. And that blows my mind. It blows a lot of adults' minds right now.
Yep.
Like, where are we at now? And again, this goes back to the human aspect of just not having any respect and more about, hey, can I get more likes or more people to watch my video? Or I'm the first guy who's reporting this to you. I was the first on the scene,
Yep.
and somebody could be dying. So there could be some serious injury or whatever the situation is, and they choose to record it then to help that individual. And that's sad.
Yeah.
We're in a sad situation when it comes to that. And again, listen, no disrespect to anybody, but the truth of the matter is we're losing respect for each other, and it's really starting to show, and that's not good.
Absolutely, and I think you're putting your finger on one of those things that once again is maybe not even a Denver problem, it's just an all of society problem that makes you feel displaced, right? It's
For
like
sure.
when there isn't a lot of respect out there in general and, everybody's on their device or social media, you start feeling like a ghost walking around, and then here I am sitting here having a podcast about me thinking the city's changing, but it may be the whole world, it's just making us all feel displaced a little bit. And then unfortunately, people that are moving here are getting the blame, whereas it's just an overall issue. So
No, I'm going to go ahead and say that people are moving here aren't very good drivers, and they get in the way. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. We love you all.
Is you no, hey, I think you're definitely onto something there. I mean, I wish I could create some kind of rule where there's like this, like, countdown, like, maybe through radio, and radio's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then everybody hits the gas at the same time, like, just if you get hit in your ass, it's your fault,
You're
It's like
done.
yeah. And that's how it should the drive up to the mountains for skiing should be like the start of Mario Kart.
Mario Kart Denver. I was
Everyone
just
should
going to
just
say
start
that.
at a
Let's
line,
go.
and then they should say, "All right, hit the green light," and everyone floors it, and then we get,
Oh
like, turtles
gosh.
to shoot at people along the
That's
way.
gonna be fu That's gonna be fun. I wanna be a part of that. I wanna be a turtle. Can I be a turtle shooting at the cars?
I think I'm probably playing too much Mario Kart with my kids, so
Oh, no, Mario Kart's the best, by the way.
yeah.
Hot pickles!
Yeah, but no, the driving thing is real. I mean, it's, once again, I remember very well, like, the T-Rex thing and, like, the hopeful aftermath from that where it's like, "Okay, we're going through this sucks right now, but, once that's fixed, this can make everything better." But it's like, you have just such an extreme mixture of there's just there's not a lot of places that have, like, people moving from so many different places, we have a
Yeah.
lot of California, Texas, a lot of, like, Midwest and that sort of thing, so you get this different aggression of you have s the have you've heard of, like, the Colorado drag race, right?
Yep.
That's like where 2 people are driving at the same speed side by side on the highway. like not allowing people to pass. That's called
No.
a Colorado drag
Yep.
race. And
Yeah.
and that happens all the time. But then you get the guy going like 120 miles an hour in the left lane, and you're going like maybe five over the speed limit, and you feel like you're like holding things up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely the traffic situation is terrifying. I mean, my wife doesn't even want to drive on the highways anymore.
Quick story, it's a road rage story, and I never thought I'm like, I'd like to consider myself one of the nicest guys, and my wife's like, "Man, you're getting crotchety. What's going on with you?" When it's all driving, right? And so you talk about it, the Denver drag race when people aren't letting you in or letting you over. There are people who know you're there. They see you through their peripheral, and they're not letting you in.
Yep.
And so I'm coming home one day, and I'm getting off of C-470 onto Quebec, and I'm turning next. It's a double turning lane, and we're turning left, heading southbound. And he's to the right of me, and I'm trying to get over so I can pick up some McDonald's on the way home. He's not letting me in, and then he decides because I'm rolling down my window. I'm like, please, like I'm trying to get his attention. Like, let me in. He saw my turn signal. He sped up, so then he cuts me off. So then I got mad. And I get on the other side of him, and I'm now we're Denver Dragon, but we're ready to fight. And it's funny because I cut him off, and don't ever do this at home, folks. Do
Yeah.
not. All right. I cut him off, and then he gets on the other side of me. And it was funny because when I pulled up to him the second time, my window was already down. He rolled down his window, and he's probably like half my size. And I go, dude, what's your problem? And he goes, F your mother. And then he just turns off the road. And I got to tell you, I started laughing. It was the funniest thing. And it was the way he said it, where I was just like, okay, I'm done. I actually drove an extra 3 blocks, turned around, and I'm laughing the whole time because at the end of the day, bro, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth escalating to the next
No.
level. But the way he said it, and he had these like really thick glasses and his eyes bulged out. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't mess with that
he was
guy.
pretty. He made me laugh. It was the funniest thing. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
not a good road rager, by the way. I just want you to
Oh.
know that, all right?
Yeah, I think we all have those moments. I mean, I actually had a hilarious one that happened on my way to work back when I worked with you. Is I was getting off of 225 onto Parker Road, and this guy, like, it was a mistake by me because I was just like in a hurry. I was like feeling the tension, and this guy like starts to go to like get out to traffic, and then slams on his brake for a car that's like a mile down there. I almost wrecked into the back of him. It's like when someone moves ahead, you think it's going to be
Yeah.
clear. So I do the old left and right look, and then I go, and then I see him like right there. So I like slam on my brake, and I give him a little horn. I was like, "Brrr," like that. I wasn't going to think twice of it, just like give him the little horn. Well, then we take off, and this guy loses his absolute shit. He's like, I thought he's going to like ram into the side of me. He's like driving, he's like flipping me off and like going absolutely crazy. And I seriously had this moment where I was like, I was not feeling it that day. Like I didn't want to get up there with him. So we stop at a stoplight, and he's like still flipping me off. I roll down my window and I go, "Hey man, dude, I'm so sorry. I literally just like out of reaction hit my horn. I'm sorry." I was like, I didn't mean to rile you up, man. I was like, and this guy literally, it took him down. He was like, "Ah, it, I'm having a bad morning, man. I'm having a bad morning." And it was
Being
like
nice works, right?
it was the coolest
Yes.
thing ever, though. It was like these tensions completely dropped, and then it was a cool moment for me because I literally saw his humanity. Like when you're like road raging,
Oh, yeah.
humanity doesn't exist. It's like, oh, can I just push this guy into a semi? Like, it's like
Yep.
we get so mad.
Yeah.
And that was this cool moment where I realized it's like I got to see the guy that goes home and hangs out with his kids. It's like,
Yeah.
and we got to all see that, I think, sometimes. But man, I'm a hothead, Tony. You know that. Like,
Yeah.
I've had multiple stories of road rage, but the traffic thing is real. I mean, the other thing is like talking about, and let's just call out the elephant in the room. Most of the time, wouldn't you say California gets the biggest piece of the blame, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and for those of you listening that aren't from Denver, California just takes the blame for everything that happens in Denver. It's like, the Californians, they ski in jeans, it's like all this sort of thing. Actually, that's the Texans that ski in jeans, but that's one of my favorite Colorado insults, by the way.
Well,
Um,
hey, real quick, it stems from two things. We hate the Lakers. We hated the Raiders,
yep.
right? So then that actually, blows up into a whole California thing. It starts with our sports. George Lopez came to Denver one time. We went to see him, and he did a show. And the mere mention of the Lakers and the Raiders, he got booed. And he got so mad that he walked off stage and canceled the rest of his show. So just to let you know, Denver fans, we at that time we did like George Lopez. After that, get out of here, dude.
I don't know if he's been back since. I don't know.
He's missing. I don't know.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, it is absolutely real. I mean, I watched Snoop Dogg get booed off the stage at Red Rocks. He came out and he said, "Where's all my California love?"
Yeah.
And everyone's boo,
Boo.
and
I was
literally
there.
like killed the show. People started walking off. He was like trying to set up his song with what's her face.
Tupac,
Yeah,
the California. Oh yeah, yep.
yeah, yep. So yeah, it was California Girls. Yeah, it was a song, but he was trying to set that one up. But
Oh, the Katy Perry song. Is it
yeah,
that one?
there
Okay,
you go.
okay. I thought it
Yeah, I
was
was trying to remember
California Love. Okay,
the other
that was the
artist on
Dre
that.
one.
But
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
he literally got booed off the stage. So, Californians get a bad rap, and sometimes, let's be honest, like it's deserved a little bit. Just, that mentality moving out here is, once again, it's like it feels like it should be right. It's like the mountains. We're a pretty carefree environment here, but there's this certain way of doing things when you're from California that just don't translate well here. It's
Yeah.
and I think that sometimes rubs people the wrong way that have been here for some time.
That's been going on for forever. I remember, being a teenage kid. We all liked to go to California. We liked to vacation in California. I think we loved the California vibe, but the perception from people from Denver and Colorado was like, don't try to be too cool. And that was our perception of actual individual of California. You think you're too cool, the whole shades vibe, the whole, sunshine all the time vibe, where if you grew up here, I can tell you, and I believe that there are still people out there who act and are the same way, is that, everybody was your friend. Everybody, you could walk into a restaurant, you were going to get treated well. And, it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but for the most part, people treated you well.
Mhm.
And you were welcomed here. Whether it was a restaurant, it was a business, or it was just friends or family. And um, the invitation to Colorado was, hey, we're here for everybody. But if you were too cool, then we don't vibe with that.
Yep.
Be like everybody else, try to fit in. But if you try to stand out, that California vibe, it wasn't welcome,
Yeah.
in the sense of, you think you're too good for us or this city. And I got to give people from Denver and Colorado props, because I still believe that there are a lot of us out there who really love the city, and they love their state, and they protect it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we gotta love, right? I mean,
Yep.
having that pride is an important thing. Without that pride, it's not, it wouldn't be a place people want to move,
No.
So I think for a lot of us, and especially you, I can't even say that I'm one of us, even though I feel like I've been here long enough and I've built enough here to where I feel like I've earned my place a little bit. But I think that's what it comes down to, is a lot of times it's like when you first move here, that it's kind of like anything else. You're a new guy at school or whatever it is, like you got to kind of earn it before you can embrace it. It's like,
Right.
it's kind of like why we just nationally aren't fond of like bandwagon fans. It's like the Patriots would have won the Super Bowl. Everybody's wearing a Patriots jersey the next day.
No.
It's kind of like you
No.
didn't ride with that. You didn't ride through the
No.
loss. You didn't, you experience that ownership of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of times what rubs us raw, maybe. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, for sure, 100%, and I think, to your point, I don't I believe that it's not just about and I don't care how I mean, you could be here 5 years, 10 years, and you talk about earning it and embracing it. I do believe you get to a place where the city becomes yours, but also when you talk about, our alignment with sports and, who we are with the Nuggets, the Broncos, the Rockies, and the Avs, and even the Rapids, um, there's there's this camaraderie that we have, number 1, and number 2, it's you're right, we don't disrespect other fans, but we don't like the bandwagon, and that that attachment to our city is I mean, it keeps you forever linked, and it's something that now listen, you can be a fan of something else and other teams, if you will. They're still sorry, they're the worst, and we can't stand them, and we hate you underneath it all. But no, but you're right. I believe that um, that is one of the things that attaches us to the city, but also it's the city itself. It's going out. It's Red Rocks. It's Colorado Springs. It's Castle Rock. It's Denver. It's Lakewood. It's Aurora. It's downtown. When you're living and breathing that and you're loving it and you're showing it, that's what it's all about. And I believe that it's for everybody, but you have to get to a place where you get it, where you understand it.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to be a fan of everything, but once you understand it, you're a part of it.
Yep.
And, it is different. It's different than a lot of places. And, you talk about the things that we've dealt with when it comes to changes. You're right. I remember as a kid, I went to a basketball tournament in Houston, and I remember we played a team that was actually from Houston, and they were making fun of our city. They were calling us the Denver Cowtown. And I was like, "What? I've never heard of that." Because I looked at us as we have a city.
Yeah.
This is Denver. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This was like 88, 87,
Yep.
and, we're still like that as a cow town back then. And, part of me was mad because I wanted that respect from an urban standpoint, but
Mhm.
the other part was, I get it. I get it, and this was something that I realized later on, but that we were this mild-mannered town that just went about our business and but we did our thing. We loved what we did.
Yep.
And the rest of the world looked at us like, we were just podunk small and didn't matter. Um, did that change over the years? Oh yeah, tons of people moved here because of the cannabis rush. We had this um, gosh, explosion of people that came to the Mile City because of the tech jobs.
Yep.
DTC kind of blew up a little bit, and then you had COVID where things slowed down.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I feel like when it comes to people from here and people that have been here, I think that we've persevered, and I think that in general, a lot of us have come together, and not number one, we've embraced that, but I think from a friend and family perspective, we've held it down, and I think
Yeah.
the as the growth comes, yeah, is it different? Are there changes? Of course. Are we gonna embrace everything? No, because we still have that mentality of protecting our city and protecting the roots of what we believe it was founded on when we came to be and be a part of it.
You're right on the money there, and I think that's at the heart of it is, it is like being, like anything else, being excited about the new things that excite you, but everything new isn't going to be great, and with every great comes also sacrifice, right? But it's also one of the best things that we can do in our culture and as human beings, and it's why it's so powerful is nostalgia. It's like when you can give people those memories, even if they're not still real today, it helps us, to remember the past, and I know that you do that every day on the radio. It's like you're talking to the people that have maybe been here for one day, but you're also talking to the people that have been here for 80 years, so
Yeah.
I mean, how do you go about that usually? I mean, because that's a wide range of people, and is that and by the way, I don't wanna, like, get in your head to where now you're gonna be like, "Oh god." every time you talk in the microphone, but, how do you ever think about that? Like, how you can explain something in the microphone to the people who get it, but you gotta think that maybe some people aren't gonna get it, like, they're not gonna know about, like, which Chubbies is the original.
I gotta explain it all, right? No, and shout out to the original Chubbies, and people don't know this, but I grew up in the South Side off Morrison Road. There was a Chubbies, and my wife and I, that was one of our first dates. I took her to Chubbies, I know, right?
Yeah.
Come
No,
on, show me
hey,
some
no,
love.
that's yeah, that's a rite of passage. You have to. I
Right?
think that was one of the
And
first dates with
but the
Syria.
Chubby
Yeah.
oh, yeah, for sure, but the Chubby's was so small, and it was kinda like this dome place,
Mhm.
dome-shaped, and it was right off of Morrison in the South Side, restaurant. It ended up closing down, but, like, that's one of my fondest memories, but when you talk about talking to that person on the radio, I always look at it this way, I'm broadcasting to one person, and everybody else is listening, so, I'm when I crack the mic, I'm talking to my wife, or I'm talking to Sean Rhodes, but you're Sean Rhodes, you're my wife, or you're John, or you're Erica, or
Yep.
whoever, right? You're that person.
Yeah.
Um, so if I have to re-explain it to you, and a lot of times, hey, if you know, you know, right? Most of us who live here and you're from here, you know the Chubbies, you know the Santiagos, um, you know some of the Gomez burritos, you know some of these other places, and just the mere mention of the word, you're already on pace. But for the new people, we make mention of it. Hey, if you're listening for the first time, this is where you want to go.
Yeah.
And so we definitely try to include everybody, no matter what we're talking about, because uh, if it's relevant to one individual, it should be relevant to anyone else. And
Yeah.
you can always back sell something, or you can always give a little brief explanation, or hey, hit me up here and or check out my video, and I'll show you the time that I was at Chubby's, and you can see what I'm talking about here. But
Absolutely.
yeah, oh, for sure, um, I think when people are listening to you, from whether it's a podcast or a radio show, they're obviously tuning in for a reason. Whether it's your day oneer, or your 80-year-old listener who's been with you for 30 years and following you everywhere. Number one, that's a blessing. Number two, I always look at, if you are meeting me for the first time, it's a great opportunity for you to not only get to know me, but get to know what we're doing and what we're excited about, from an entertainment standpoint and just relationship standpoint. This isn't just
Yeah.
about entertaining you, but we've this, Sean, we've built relationships throughout the
Oh, yeah.
years, and when you build a relationship, you earn trust, and people will come back, and they'll vibe with you.
There we go. See, folks, I told you, Tony V is the man with the plan, Mr. Denver. So,
Thank you.
no, no, you seriously, you're such a wise person, and that's why you were here today. I mean, the what's something that you love that exists in Denver today that wasn't here, even 5 years ago?
That I love now?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I do love new buildings. I do. This is kind of crazy because yes, I do have these memories of the old Denver. I came from the South Side. My old elementary school got tore down, but there's a brand new school there that looks really cool. And I'm happy for my neighborhood. I'm happy for my old neighborhood that we went from this old building that was falling apart to this new facility for the kids in that neighborhood. It was the Westwood area. Shout out Westwood one time. Westwood. Um,
Westwood, you what?
But, growing up in Southwest Denver, it was, it wasn't a flashy part of town, and,
Yeah.
from a financial standpoint, to see those improvements,
Mhm.
I think I do love to see the changes on how our city has improved. You start to see I'm not gonna necessarily call it cleanup, but new things are happening, and some of the old things that needed to be replaced and, are being built in the neighborhoods that needed it the most are it's a point of satisfaction,
Mhm.
for me to see that, we're getting on par with the rest of the city when it
Yeah.
comes to the things that we probably needed, 5 or 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
to see that money spent and put back into our city, I like that.
Yeah. I think, and speaking of at the neighborhood level, I think one of the things that kinda drives, the OGs crazy is the renaming of neighborhoods. It's like when
Oh, yeah.
if you tell some OG Denver people like that you're in the Highlands, what are they gonna say?
North side.
North
It's
side,
the north
come on.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, or, 5 points is now gosh, it's like so many different things. It's Rhino, it's like,
Yeah.
uh
No, it's 5 points to us.
yeah,
We're always gonna
it's
call it 5
still
points.
5 points to me. I mean, even my neighborhood I live in is when I first moved here was Stapleton, now it's Central Park, which makes no
Yeah.
sense when you're trying to explain to people you live in Central Park. It's a street, so it's, like, confusing as heck. So I'm like, Could we have spent more time on renaming this thing? At least call us like ED or something, East Denver." I don't know. It's like, what you know? Give us some kinda cool name rather than Central Park. So
Yeah, well, and here in Colorado, you live in New York? What?
yeah.
Central Park? Wait, what? No, and to your point, you're right, because we've known that for so long, right?
Yeah,
I would be a little. I mean, listen, can you control the change? No, but at the end of the day, I think I would be a little sad if Westwood got changed, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And you don't necessarily have to roll with the changes. Look at people still call it the North Side.
yeah,
Those who are new to the city, or if you're moving there and you wanna adopt the Highlands, that's entirely up to you, but from a nostalgic perspective, there are people who are gonna still, stick to those names and stick to those areas that we grew up around. By the way, 5 Points is was my first radio job. KDKO was off of
yeah.
26th and Welton,
Dr.
right
Daddio,
above the
right?
Wells Fargo Bank. Yep, Dr. Daddio,
Yeah,
rest in peace. He just
yeah,
recently passed,
yeah,
but I
I
was in the 5 Points,
yep,
and you talk about memories, there was a restaurant called Zona's, and
mhm.
it was open 24 hours a day, and they had the greasiest, best cheeseburgers in the Mile High City, and you could have it at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I know that because I did overnights, and it was amazing. That's why you got these puffy cheeks today.
Uh, all the people watching are gonna be like, "Sean must eat that too."
Wow, no.
That I gotta hit up the gym more often because lately I think
Oh,
someone's
same
standing
here.
yeah, I think someone's standing next to me. I'm like, "Oh, no, that was just my cheek." That
It's
was, I was I'm like, Who's over there?" "Oh, this is my cheek."
Bro, I
Uh,
hang up on people when I'm talking to them because of my fat cheeks, so yeah, sorry.
oh oh my god, I'm the same way, or I'll accidentally put it on speakerphone and blow my ear out.
Yes.
Like, yeah, all the time, man. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
No, that's a good segue into I was gonna put you on a little, like, hot round here, and I'm putting you
okay.
on the spot here, but I'm gonna say a cuisine, and you tell me favorite restaurant in Denver, and it can be from the old school days, and maybe it's not around anymore, or new, so let's start out Mexican restaurant.
My new go-to is Los Potrillos. If you
Oh,
know, you know.
you've been talking about that. Man, I
You
gotta
gotta
go up
go.
there with you. I
Chile
still haven't been.
relleno nachos, they're the house favorite, but everything is good. The
Oh,
carne
man.
asada, the menudo, the caldo is good. Yeah. See, my Mexican's coming out.
Yeah.
Orale, let's go now.
I think for Siri and I, it's De Corazon, the one down
Okay.
just love that place, like, ever since I moved here, been going there and love it. It's not the best thing in the world, it's just comfort zone. Yeah, yep.
Big
But actually
corazon, is that what it's called?
yeah, yeah, De Corazon.
The
Yep,
corazon, that means heart, by
yep,
the way. Case
yep.
for all of our English speakers, that's
Yeah,
heart. Okay.
everyone here's my really bad Spanish. Alright, how about, best Italian?
Best Italian. Oh gosh, it's been a minute. There's a place by our house that we haven't been to for a while. It's called Michi's. It's really good. We used to eat up in the north area of Denver. I don't know if Lechuga's would count for Italian,
I
but
think
Lechuga's
so.
is also on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Once
mean
again
that's a Denver go to.
yep,
So
that's
yeah.
like North Side or Highlands, whatever you wanna call it there, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and then
yep.
sometimes we go to the Taco Bell of Italian, we go to Olive Garden, so just saying.
Hey, you can't beat the salads and breadsticks,
I'm
okay?
just saying,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Isn't that what's funny though? It's like from where I'm from, that would be my answer. Like, for the most part, like most of us, that's where we go, right? It's like
Yeah,
it's close to home. But that is one of the
yep.
things. I mean, there's definitely way more chains here now than there were when I first moved here. So,
Oh, for
and
sure.
and it kind of drives me nuts. That was one of the biggest things that when we moved, and for those of you that don't understand the layout out of Denver, is like I live on the east side. It was still in Denver proper, but that's only because of the airport mapping with how they drew out the city, but, we live on the east side of Denver, and it's like kind of the suburbs of Denver a little bit, and,
Yeah.
when we were living downtown Denver and when we first started looking for a bigger house, once we had the growing family and everything, we couldn't find anything. It was like $2 million to buy a house in downtown Denver.
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
that's a
Yeah.
little out of our range here. So we moved, to Central Park now. And or when we're looking for the house, Siri's like, "No, we can't. We can't." And I was like, "Let's just look at the new home builds and everything." And she's like, "I don't want to, Sean. I don't want to." And then we finally convinced her because Siri, she grew up here. She grew up downtown Denver and then eventually out in Brighton. But we come out, we look at the show house and all of this sort of thing, and then I'm like smiling ear to ear. It's like affordable, nice house, all this good stuff. We get in the car and Syria, I look over at her and I was like, "So what did you think?" And she, like, breaks down crying. She's, like, crying. She was like, "What are we gonna do? Eat at Fridays on Friday?"
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I mean, the way to my wife's heart is definitely locally owned, and somewhat healthy, but, there's way too many chain restaurants out here, so we were happy, and I'll give a shout out to the Pearl Market, which came out here, which kinda has that downtown Denver feel to it,
Okay.
but moving on to, you know, the moral of the story is once again, I think we're all excited to live in this energetic, growing city, and it does have such a rich history that a lot of us, embrace. We can only hope that the newcomers, get excited about that history too and embrace it. But I think there's things that we can do too. It's like I always like to look on, self-analyze and be like, how can we being from here longer, how can we make them feel more welcome? And one thing that comes to mind, and sorry for my long drawn out question, but something that comes to mind is when I first moved here, I would see the Green Mountain sticker that says native on it,
Yeah.
and that used to piss me off. I'd be like, man, like, screw your Subaru. It's
Donk.
Because it is one of those things where it's just like you don't feel welcome when you see that, where it's like, but I get it at the same time. That's what this whole
Yeah.
episode's about. It's like
Yep.
you want to be proud of being a native and being from here, but it's like we also want to be a little welcoming too. I mean, do you have any thoughts or ideas on like ways we can do a better job embracing the newcomers?
Well, just so you know, by the way, I lived here. I'm from here, and I was annoyed by the native stickers because I'm like, why do you gotta brag about it? I mean, just be yourself, right?
Mhm.
And I guess that would go to my point is that I feel like as Coloradoans and people from the city is that I think we can do, and I can say this for myself personally, but I believe that we can all do a better job of just not waking up to be offended, not waking up
Mhm.
to be pissed off about the things that we see um that are happening in our city. How can we be the solution? How can we be um, those who move in a positive direction where people look at us and say, that's how you're supposed to act. That's how you're supposed to be. This is what Denver is all about. This is what Colorado's about. And so there's a lot of great people, and we have to expose that. People have to see that
Yep.
to know that no matter what direction we're heading in, the positivity is and the love is going to outweigh the negativity and the hate.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to what you said in the beginning. It's just and I think every single episode this comes up where we have to be connected more, like,
Hmm.
on a human level, like, the social media and screen time and, like, seclusion, like, kills everything, it's like it's just literally communication solves everything, and it's just like, as you explained, I mean, it really comes down to it, so it's like, if you want to be welcome or you want to welcome someone, tell them. Just literally, "Hey, you're from California? That's great. How do you like it here?" And then if you're from California, don't be like, "Ugh, I hate it. It's ugly. This is a shit town." It's like, of course, that's not gonna be received very well from someone that grew up here. So,
Right.
it's like but also, when I was looking up, like, psychology, which if you saw me, like, looking at I wasn't not listening to you, but I was looking at some of um, these the psychology behind some of this stuff, and, it's like there there's why newcomers feel defensive, and it says, transplants are usually excited, they're insecure, they're trying to fit in, and they're afraid of being judged at the same time, so they sometimes overcompensate, and psychologists call this acculturation stress. It leads to bragging, comparing cities, creating bubbles, and ignoring local norms,
Yep.
and I thought this, like, was, kind of on point because at a time, I believe I was here,
Yeah.
I was the newcomer where I was, like, trying to, like, plant my own flag in my new territory without realizing it's someone else's territory, it's like
Yeah.
so there's this kind of give and take a little bit where I think we all enjoy the things other people bring to us, from the other places. We probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have great barbecue here if it wasn't for a lot of the Kansans moving out here,
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, see, I just said something there that probably offends some people, but, I
Colorado barbecuers are pissed right now.
yeah, but I know that we wouldn't have, the great Mexican food that we have here without, the Hispanic heritage that founded this town, it's like
Yeah.
and, you have the small known gangsters that created the Italian scene.
Gaetanos, by the way, I
Yeah,
forgot about Gaetanos. You gotta go there.
Gaetanos, we both did. I mean, that's the most iconic, Italian
Yeah.
restaurant, and I probably should edit out, like, saying and, like, "I love the small Downs, they're great people." Like, it's all good.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, so there's just things that we can both do, but it's like at the end of the day, like the brain hates unpredictability. So humans love
hmm,
familiarity because it lowers mental effort. We build mental shortcuts for traffic, social norms, behavior, how things work. And so when that's thrown into chaos, we feel in chaos,
yeah,
that was ultimately in a roundabout way, today's episode isn't about, shaming anyone, whether you're from here or whether you just have lived here for a day. It's just, this whole show is about how we come together, how we show
yeah,
up. That's a reoccurring theme is like no matter whether it's at the airport or, it's at a restaurant, how do you show up? It's
yep,
there's just certain ways of making yourself in that, first impression count, so,
yeah.
so Tony, I guess with that said, I'm gonna have you take away today's episode in a love letter to Denver. Just everything that's on your mind, take us home.
Well, thank you. First and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate the time that you've given me, and uh, to our Mile High City, man, it's forever love. It's always been that, and Sean was just talking about other cities and um, just comparing them. There are a lot of places that I'd love to vacation and hang out in, but we're that city. We're that city where you love to be here. You want to be here, and it's evident. People are moving here and they're staying here because they're falling in love with the city. And we as people, I believe, we shoulder some responsibility and continuing to remind them why they love this city. People are a big part of this town, and when we continue to do that, we're gonna grow. But we're gonna grow as a place that continues to be a destination. When people talk about us, they're gonna talk about, man, I love Colorado. I love this so much. I moved here, or I'm going back. And that being said, when you see that guy from California and you say, "Hey, you from California, dude? Oh, nice, awesome. I'm gonna show you how to drive." No, I'm totally kidding. But but no, but seriously, I think it all comes down to communication. If we can communicate better, if we can speak to each other and treat each other with respect, um, I'll give you this analogy, and I'll leave you with this. There are plenty fires out there, and you can be the person holding the match and the gas to continue to contribute to that fire, or you can be holding a fire extinguisher and you can be a solution and try to put that fire out and make the situation better. So, when it comes to people in Colorado, again, shout out to you. Shout out to our people that are from here, but shout out to the people that are new to the city. I'm one of those people who would love to welcome you. And I would also, if there's anything that I could do better as a host and I can do to make you, fall in love with this town the same way we love it, um, I think that's all the more because I think that's a big representation of who we are. So, shout out Colorado people, shout out Denver people, go Broncos, go Nuggets, go
Nuggets.
Avs. That's
Yeah.
right. Go Rapids and
Siri and I were
go
just
Colorado
talking.
teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Siri and I
for
were
sure.
just talking about how fun this spring and summer is gonna be with we got the Nugs and Avs like both
Oh
in like
yeah,
championship shape here. So
big things
although
popping. And
last night was not
oh,
fun to watch.
it's heartbreak. Them free
Yeah,
throws,
yeah,
Jamal. We love you,
yeah,
Jamal, but come on,
yeah.
Jamal.
Come on, man. Come on.
But I'll leave you with this. Our sports and the things that happened around this city bring us together. Music brings us together, and I love the way our people come together with the success that's happening with our city, and I think winning creates this positive environment, and it kind of sheds all the other craziness that's going on, and we just come together and we communicate better. So I believe that's a big vital part to what's happening. But also, I pray about this all the time. I pray that there's less violence, and again, human aspect. We treat each other with respect. We learn how to speak to each other, but we also learn how to receive from each
Ab-
other.
Absolutely. And Tony, wrapping this show up in the most heartfelt way possible, and you probably don't get this enough, but thanks to you for what you mean to this city. And, for
Oh,
literally, when I first moved here, you were a voice with me, like helping me integrate into this city. And here you are, gosh, 26 years later, or whatever it's been, still there with me. And, every single day you put your heart out there. Beyond the microphone, guys, I mean, this guy lives and breathes to give back. I mean, he does a huge food drive, which we're bringing that back this year. Okay.
oh
We're,
yeah, we
I
have
know,
to.
I know it's been on a hiatus last year, but I want to team up with you and make that happen. But you coach youth basketball and you do an amazing job in grooming these kids, not only for playing basketball, but for growing up in the
Yeah,
right way. I
thank
mean,
you.
you do such a great job, and I just love you to death, man. I really do. You're one of my favorite people that I've ever known, and I just really appreciate what you mean to this city and for being such a legend, man. And it's great to have you on this show.
Likewise, brother. I'm so used to being the hype man, so if it feels like I'm blushing or sweating and getting hot, uh, I'm not used to accolades, and you know me. I don't do it for that. We do love our kids. We love our future. We love youth, and we got a big game going on. We're about to hit the playoffs, so shout out
Hey,
Mountain Vista, our girls team. Shout out Box State. But
yeah,
thank you, man. It is. It's about the kids. It's about shaping the future. I've learned so much over the last 20 years of my wife working in the schools, and that's part of the evolution. It's part
yeah,
of being a better human being, right? And
yep,
you know, instilling it into our youth so that this. You have kids, they're the future leaders, and
yeah.
it's up to us to make that possible. And
You're
if you
so
care enough, good things continue to happen. Thank you, bro.
You're absolutely right, man. Well, thank you for helping today, and remember, everyone out there, there's really only one rule: mind your manners. Okay, everybody out there, listen to Flow 1071. It's a
That makes
great
you take us
time.
out.
You are gonna feel revived and rejuvenated, and this man right here, it takes you home every single afternoon. So, Tony, let's go.
Let's go.
There we go. That's what I needed. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Mannered Podcast.